My local record store bought this record player for 10 whole euros from a customer, and it's an actual Bose. No, not really. It's an actual selected by Bose. Because as far as I know, Bose never made a record player. Let's make sure the cover is see-through again. That thing is not clean. This bit is even specifically dirty. It doesn't clean up very nicely. I think though this thing should look quite alright once I'm done with it, but it's obviously been in a storage for a very, very long time. The stylus seems to be in good shape, so that's worth the 10 euros. And other than that, we'll have to see. I'm just going to give it a quick wipe, because I don't want to work on it if it's too dirty. I'll take the dust cover off so you can actually see from both camera angles what's going on. So I'll just wipe it down quickly. You take the stylus off for a second so I don't break it while I wipe it. I have to take this all the way out. Yes, I do actually. Yes, I do. No, I didn't, but yeah, it was apparently quite stuck. So lots of dust and grime. What I'm expecting is a record player that works but won't keep its speed because it has pitch control. And pitch control is usually a pain in the ass. Because the pots get dirty and the switches get dirty, and yeah. It's actually kind of a nice record player. It's the PD-604-III. I'm not even sure if it's a direct drive, but it doesn't say so, so probably not. Let's see if it has a belt. It does have a belt. The belt looks to be in good shape. Not new, but not bad either. There's a bit of dirt on the platter from the belt rotating there for all these years. I'm going to quickly clean up the most of it. As you can see, the stroboscope is underneath the platter. It reflects through a mirror into the this display here. One thing, there's a fly. There's a fly in there. And I'm not sure how it got in there, but I blew it somewhere else, so at least you don't see it now. It comes with extra fly. The motor pulley is a bit dirty. Let's clean it up quickly. And to plug it in. Let's try not to kick over that camera. It's not the most ideal position where it is. I'm not sure if you can see it on that camera, but it's just standing on the tripod here. Here we go. So that's all alright. The belt's not new, but the belt's not bad either. And to be honest, to work with, this is quite a nice machine, I think. It makes sense. See, the belt isn't overly tight, which is better. I actually prefer a belt that's slightly too loose over a belt that's slightly too tight, because it will ruin your motor bearing. As you can see, it runs. I think it's on 45 now, yes. Pitch control on 45, working perfectly. That's nice. No weird stroboscope behavior. I would like to show you, but I am actually resetting my phone to factory settings as we're speaking, so I can't use it as an extra camera right now. Nice heavy mat. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this may say Bose, but it doesn't seem to be a very bad record player at all. That is my big brush. There's some dust here. You can't really get there with a cloth. You can get there with a brush, which really makes life a lot easier. Okay, last but not least, let me clean up this head shell, which is actually not that dirty, or you just don't see it. And let's put it back in the arm. It's a plastic screw, so it's kind of hard to get it to grip. So I shouldn't have taken it out, but I thought I had to. But it doesn't go through and through, it just clamps the head shell. I will get it in at some point. That's what she said. Oh, people who don't know, weight is set up by turning the entire weight until the arm floats, sort of level, and that is then 0 grams, like so. Well, lift actually works, you can see 0 grams is floating, and you set the little number thing, I'm not sure what it's called, the number ring, to 0 grams, and then you turn the entire thing to the desired weight, which is around 2 grams in this case. Let's check if the anti-skate works. If it doesn't do anything, it should be floating. I'm just going to stop the platter there. Yeah, it's pulling outwards slightly, but if I turn it up, it should pull outwards much more aggressively. It's not an awful lot, to be honest. I hope it works. Okay, it does stop pulling now, and it does start pulling again. Anti-skate doesn't feel quite positive, but it appears to be working. I'm going to test it later with a record, but let's first hook this thing up to the cheap phone amplifier that I have standing here. So I have a pile of test records. So I actually have a few new test records. I sometimes buy like super cheap records that I normally wouldn't play, or that I already have but that are in horrible shape, and I just use them for testing purposes, because I will just put them, no covers, I'm sorry, in my cabinet here, so I can just pull them out and test them. I think there will be no music rights on this one, I'm not quite sure, so I'm not going to play it for too long. This is a band called Exception. It's a Dutch band, and they do popular covers of classical music. It's actually kind of cool. Very Dutch. I don't think we have much sound. I think I see one channel. Okay, we do have input, so why don't I hear anything? Ooh, loads of buzz. Okay. Buzz. Stop. Okay, so it's not an automatic record player. Maybe if you go to the end, let's see what it does. I didn't actually see anything that would make it automatic, so it's just a fully manual record player. Let's see what the anti-skate does. Yeah, see it skip inward? That's usually a sign of a too low anti-skate. It's not really a scientific method, this, but it usually works quite well. See, now it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't even know where to go, so it's too high. And usually when it lands smoothly into the groove every time, so it skips inward but only subtly, just goes to the next groove, and you got your anti-skate 80% to what it should be. The perfect method is not a blank disc, it doesn't work, people. The perfect method is using an oscilloscope and a test record. This looks good. Finds the groove nicely every time, close enough. They call it a quick start turntable, is it though? That's quite acceptable. But actually this thing works as intended, and it's quite a nice record player, to be honest. It's not a bad thing in any way. So I'm going to clean it up properly. Well, yeah, definitely. And I'm going to polish the dust cover. And yeah, I'm gonna do the cleaning up bit a bit quicker, because it's not that interesting for you guys. And then I'll show you how I polish a dust cover. So here we go. Spraying some general purpose cleaner. And then just wiping it down until it's all clean. See, this is why I take the stylus off, so I don't have to think about this kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to get around the buttons. You can still see some dirt around those. You can't really see it in the video, but there's some really bright lights going on here. I can actually show you. Where's where I wrote? Oh, here. If I turn them off. There you go. And here we go. It's quite a lot of light. The reason I clean it in 2 stages is that I don't really want to touch it and work with it in the state it was in. So I just give it a quick wipe, and then I test it, and then if it turns out to be working, I give it a proper clean. Good. Better. The dust cover. I've seen them in worse shape. I'm going to quickly clean it, and then give it a polish. It has some weird damage here. Is that a sticker? Or is that actual damage, I wonder? I think it's damage. Something happened there. Probably something hot landed on it, not sure. Even though I did clean it before, there's still a lot of stuff coming off, as you can see. These things are nasty. Rest assured, I will wash my hands after I'm done cleaning the entire thing. So, now, it's cleanish. I will put it on the record player to add a little weight and stability, and I will get my polish, and I will just start polishing away. It doesn't have to be perfect, because that's a lot of work, and you may actually want to use a machine for that. What it does have to be is completely transparent again, because it looks matte, and it doesn't have to. I will show you in a minute. I'll just do half of the cover, and then show you the difference. Here we go. take a clean towel and I'll rub it out. And then you can hopefully see, I'm not sure how well the camera shows it, but you can hopefully see that this half of the dust cover, though it still has scratches, has no more micro scratches. It's completely transparent just with a few scratches, and this part is matte. You can hear. Here? It's much quieter. So it's actually looking a lot better, even though it's definitely not brand new. But getting it brand new, though possible, it's so much work that I'm not going to do it for this record player. Actually, it takes quite a bit of force. This looks like a quick job, but having done it a lot of times, you actually get quite quick at it. But I'm using a lot of weight here. That's also why I hook it up to the record player. There's no way of doing this when it's on the table. It will just slide everywhere. You do need the rubber feet of the record player in order to keep the dust cover in place. Let's see. One more clean. There's all bits of polish left. And that's what it's gonna be, dust cover wise. And let's be honest. I'll give you a before and after. Actually, I'll give you a before and after clean and an after polish. There you go. Right? Right, I got a few Crosby, Stills and Nash records, or Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, or Crosby and Nash. They sort of have the same colors, so they should work for a background. So the same atmosphere. Okay. Definitely a bit more Crosby and Nash. No Young, actually. It's a really nice reissue of Crosby, Stills and Nash, the album. Great, great record. So it's amazing how quickly dust gets onto electronic devices. So after post-processing, the first image will be that one. And then we are going to put a record on it. Set up everything again because I didn't for that image. It's playing. Set the pitch control correct. Now, first an image of the record player playing, a nice overview. Then an image of the cartridge, the Audio-Technica AT3600. Is that good? Yes. That's a nice one. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more, and that's going to be the stroboscope, because of course it will be. Nice. Okay. Now one last thing I'll always do. I'll hook it up to my simple computer setup here that's just for testing, and I'm going to stop please. I'm going to record a song into the computer so I have a reference if I ever want to know what it sounded like. And the song I record every single time, for no other reason than that it has to be an easily replaceable record should anything ever happen to it during testing, is Paul Simon's Kodachrome. It does get old at some point, but it sounds good, so here we go. That's the Bose PD-604-III for you. I'm going to turn on the volume because music rights. It's not a bad machine at all, even though it says Bose and though it's very light and plasticky. It's not a bad machine. It's a great starter turntable that has proven to be reliable despite being super dirty. So I'm giving it a thumbs up. It's a good machine. Hope you enjoyed the video.